Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be painting a Loonboss from start to finish. But first of all I want to say a huge thank you to my YouTube channel sponsors Goblin Gaming who sent me the miniature out for review. If you check the description box down below you'll find a direct link to their web store, and every time you purchase something using that link it greatly helps my YouTube channel. As always with my videos guys, they are rather long, so go get comfortable, grab yourselves a nice hot drink, maybe even a nice cold beer, and we'll get started with the tutorial. We first start off by priming the miniature using the Army Painter's brush on primer. I normally airbrush my primers on using Alclad's or Steiner Res primers, but as this is only a tiny miniature I thought it'd be easier than going in my loft to prime the miniature and just use the Army Painter's brush on primer, which works really well to be honest. I thin the primer down with a little bit of water, so only a tiny amount of water to thin the primer down. This is just to make sure that I don't obscure any of the details brushing on the primer. And here you can see the results of the brush on primer from the Army Painter, and as you can see it gives beautiful smooth results. Now we're going to be using Games Workshop's Ashabti Bone. We're going to use the Ashabti Bone to paint the helmet that the Loonboss is wearing. We're also going to use it to paint the actual base of the very large toadstool that he's standing on. Now we're going to base coat the flesh of the Loonboss using layer paint Skarsnik Green. The Army Painter's Toxic Boils is going to be painted onto some of the mushrooms and toadstools that are dotted around the miniature. crusted saw from the army painter is going to be painted on the small mushrooms on the top of the armor plate on the Loonboss, and also on the large mushroom, as you can see I'm painting now. Alien purple is going to be painted on the flat toadstool that the Loonboss is standing on. Leather brown is going to be painted on the haft of the weapon that the Loonboss is holding. Vallejo's gunmetal metal colour is going to be painted onto all of the metallics of the Loonboss, so that's the blade of the weapon and all of his outer armour. One of my favourite metallics in the Army Painter range is Greedy Gold. I really like this colour, guys, and as you can see it goes on lovely and smooth and gives a really nice realistic looking gold colour. Rhinox hide is thinned down 1:1 with water and is painted on the base of the miniature. Games Workshop shade, Athonian camo shade, is going to be painted on all of the flesh areas of the Loonboss. Cassandora yellow is going to be painted onto the helmet of the Loonboss. It's important that we don't let it pull too much and that we control the amount of the Cassandora yellow that goes over the Ashabti bone that we placed earlier. But as you can see, it's a great combination, using the Ashabti bone to create the base and using the Cassandora yellow to give a really nice yellow look to that helmet. Purple Tone by the Army Painter's Quick Shade range is going to be painted onto all of the areas of the base that were painted in either red or purple. Seraphim sepia is painted onto the base of the toadstool that was painted in a shabty bone. Mephiston red is heavily thinned down to actually create a glaze. You can use Lamia medium here, but I actually left mine in the loft and I just couldn't be bothered to get it, if I'm completely honest, so I just use water. But for best results to actually create glazes, you want to use Games Workshop's Lamia medium. But the most important thing is to really thin it down. Here it's thinned down about 1:1 with water, and I'm slowly building from the bottom third of the toadstool all the way up to the top. Zandri Dust by Games Workshop is going to be painted on the base with a dry brush. I remove almost all of the paint on some paper towel, and as you can see here, I'm just lightly brushing over the areas that were painted in Rhinox hide, and you can see it's picking up all the texture, which looks really nice. Here I'm washing all of the metallics using the Army Painter's dark tone, and here I'm trying not to let the dark tone pull too much, and I'm controlling exactly where it goes on the metallics. I did a lot of hard edge highlighting, which I forgot to record some of it on camera. Here you can see I'm hard edge highlighting all of the metallics using the Army Painters Shining Silver. I hard edge highlighted the helmet using Games Workshop paint Dawn Yellow. I hard edge highlighted all the purple areas, adding a tiny amount of white to the alien purple colour. Lastly, we're going to finish the base off with some really nice decorative tufts from seriousplay.co.uk, and as you can see, these look beautiful and really set the base off very nicely. And here you can see we have our finished Loonboss. I've really enjoyed painting this miniature, and it's a miniature that I think I've painted really well. Very rare am I happy with my paint jobs, but I'm really happy with the Loonboss. I hope you find this tutorial helpful, guys, and if you have, please hit the like button. Also, don't forget to check the description box below for links to Goblin Gaming's web store, and as I say, if you are purchasing anything, please use that link in the description box below. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters for supporting me on Patreon. And lastly, guys, please leave a comment, let me know what you think of the tutorial, and thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.